All right, we are live, streaming live on StreamYard, which is awesome tool as it's sending my video everywhere. Let's just make sure real quick that we are streaming live. Okay, cool. Cool house piano. So really quick, we're going to be talking about how to build a business without being in the day to day. How to build a business without being in the day to day of your of it. And let me just see, make sure live is working for Instagram. One second, everyone. Okay. All right, one sec, and then we'll get going. All right, looks like we are live on Instagram. Hopefully, not going to worry about it. If not, let's check one more time. Anyway, quick little lesson on how to build a business without being in the day to day. So we're going to just talk you through a little bit of a kind of exercise that I teach most business owners and potential business owners, which is this idea. People say, Dan, how do I run a business semi-absentee or without being in the day to day? Well, it's very straightforward. You can't do that unless you have the capital and resources to do so and ability to manage. But if you can, then what you need to do is for a business to run without being in the day to day, which to me, that doesn't mean you're not working full time. You're working on the business full time. That could be doing business development, that could be leadership, that could be recruiting. You're going to focus on what you're best at. The other roles are going to get delegated. And so the way that you do that is I'm just going to write out a little, let's see if you can see this. Not really, huh? All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk you through it. So what you're going to do is you're going to focus on really these couple elements. You're going to focus on having a sales leader, a marketing leader, an operations leader, a finance leader, and a legal leader. I talk about this a lot. And so what you got to understand is a business really boils down to those five buckets: sales, marketing, ops, legal, and finance. And so what great business owners do is they understand that each one of those roles is a full-time job. So of course you're going to work a lot of hours if you're trying to fill a little bit of each of those roles. What you need to do is you need to hire a marketing leader that's going to be accountable to the marketing of your business. Now, marketing is everything to do with getting the name out there. Lead generation and marketing, and those two are very separate, not the same. We'll talk about the difference. But the marketing leader is going to be in charge of your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your SEO, and your LinkedIn ads, and your local. If you're in home services, your local service ads, Google Guaranteed ads, pay per click. The list goes on and on. All your direct mail campaigns on the holidays. Are you posting content? How are you communicating externally? Marketing's head is going to focus on the external communication as an organization. Then you've got your sales leader. This is obviously different than marketing. And a lot of times as business owners, we think, well, I'm going to do the sales. Well, you could do business development. You can focus on sales, but unless you're willing to put 40 hours a week into sales, don't try to do a full-time job and then wonder why sales are not happening if you can't do the full-time job. There's very few times as a business owner that you've got the time to do the sales. Now, if you have a job and you're going to own a business and do the sales, you are setting yourself up for failure. That's just unrealistic. You can't do all of it. If you're going to do the sales, then do the sales. If you're going to have a job and own a business, then have a salesperson doing the sales. But this person is accountable to sales. I truly believe that should not be the owner. That should be a sales leader who's accountable to that. Marketing is accountable to marketing. Sales is accountable to sales. And by the way, if two people are accountable to something, no one's accountable. You need to be accountable to, there needs to be a department head whose sole job is to focus on that. Then you've got the third bucket, which is operations. Operations is going to be centered around the actual running of the business day to day, right? This is who's making sure the trains show up on time at the right station. This is often called your GM or your operating partner or operations manager. And this person is, again, accountable to the day to day. Maybe this is, your employees don't show up or your schedules you're dealing with day to day. That's going to be your operations manager. Now, again, you don't want to do sales, but you're great at ops and you want to put full-time time into operating your business, then you can do that. But again, if you have a job, you can't do a job and be a business owner and be a GM, right? You got to choose. So there's different ways to run a business, which we're going to talk about in a second, but you're going to have an operations manager. Then in operations, HR bleeds into that, accounting does not bleed into that, but operations is everything to do with like the delivery of the service or product, right? Marketing is marketing the product, sales is talking to and selling the product, operations is delivering the service once it's been sold or the product. Then you've got finance, which is the money in and out. Now, I want to be clear on the marketing and finance and legal buckets I'm talking about, or about to talk about. Most good franchisors take the marketing off your plate. They take the finance off your plate if they're doing it right. Like, for example, at Voda, we do all of the bookkeeping for our franchise owners. But you got to have the money in the door, the counting the beans, if you will. You got to have your QuickBooks and your profit and loss in QuickBooks done properly with the right chart of accounts. You have to have a bookkeeper doing your bookkeeping. Good franchisors should take that off your plate. To me, if I'm running a company, I want to get a nice, clean profit and loss that I look at on a weekly and monthly basis. I don't want to sit there and do the numbers, nor should you. You need someone in charge of the money. And as you scale, that'll be a CFO. But for now, that's like a bookkeeper, controller, whatever you want to call it. Finally, you've got legal. Now, if you're in a franchise, legal should be taken care of by legal, by the franchise. But if not, you need some type of great outsourced lawyer that you work with on a pretty consistent basis. That's the legal bucket. Now, if you want to own a business without being in the day-to-day and you want to keep your job, there's a couple things I want to talk through. There's only 3 ways to start a business. One is with time. The pain is the time. You're going to spend lots of time, right? If you're going to go into a business and put your time without having a job, you're going to go all in. You're going to have time as your sacrifice and, money, right? Or the lack of money. The other option is you can start a business and you can, go halfway and keep a job, put money in and have people work for you and kind of do like this hybrid version. And then you got this other version where you can put lots of money. Your sacrifice is money and you're not going to sacrifice time because you're going to have these department heads of marketing, sales, ops, legal, and finance. And by the way, again, think about it. You're working 80 hours. That's because you're doing, looks like we're frozen. Thanks for letting me know that it's frozen. Apologies, I'm new to using this streaming service. So is it still frozen? Chuck, if you could just... Oh, well, yeah, bear with me with the, bear with me. Let me see if we can fix this. It looks like we're frozen now. Still frozen. All right. Well, thanks to all that have joined this. We're going to... All right. We'll come back to this. Thanks, everyone, for joining.